This is a Monty moment. I'm Johnny Montalbano. We get you ready for the NCAA Tournament, and we'll start in the South region with the top overall seed in the tournament, and that is number 1, Alabama. The Crimson Tide won the SEC tournament, while Kansas and Houston exited their conference tournaments early without their respective conference titles, and also missing key players along the way. And you look at the Crimson Tide here, they cruised their way through the end of the season, which was also mired in controversy with that murder case that has hovered over the team the past 2 months or so. But on the court, they have been as unstoppable as anybody. And, usually when we're talking about Alabama, we're talking about them in football. But in basketball, they are looking just as good this season. And you look at them in this South region, and they are dealing with a region that has a lot of balance. They have elite offensive teams to deal with, like number 2 Arizona, number 6 Creighton, number 7 Missouri, and number 10 Utah State. You also have some strong defensive units like number 4 Virginia, number 5 San Diego State, and number 8 Maryland. And then you have teams that do it on both sides of the ball, and I really should just say singular, as in just number 1 Alabama. So when I look up and down this region, and this is one that I'm actually quite confident in saying that Alabama will be making it pretty late into March and early April. I'm not confident about a lot of other teams saying that, but I am quite confident saying that about Alabama. So as far as these matchups go, you look at these games in the opening round, and the 1-16 matchup to me, you look at Bama. Usually when you're the top team, you get a very favorable 16 seed, and that's the case here. I think they're going to take care of whoever wins their first 4 matchup, whether that's A&M Corpus Christi or Southeast Missouri State. So take Alabama to get out of that one. I like Arizona to get past Princeton in the 2-15. Baylor in the 3-14 over UC Santa Barbara. I think those 3 move on, no problem at all. Now, here's where things get to be fun. I have not one but 2 upset specials here in the South. And I like Virginia a lot this year. I've watched a lot of their games. And really, when you look at them, the Cavaliers are an old school kind of team in that on offense, they like to take their time going up and down the court, use up the shot clock to make a play, and really what they try and do is wear out defenses, and they can also wear you out on defense themselves. But you look at them this year, there are times where that can backfire, and we've seen that this year. If teams jump out to a big lead against Virginia, that's where they run into some problems. And we saw that in their ACC championship game against Duke, where Duke jumped out to a quick lead and Virginia had to play from behind pretty much the whole game. And that is why you look at them in the 4-13. I think Furman can get past them in the 4-13. They have 2 major players. Furman does in Slauson Boswell. If they can score, Furman can. So if Virginia falls behind early, it's a tall task and a tough task to ask the Cavaliers to come back from. And I think they're going to run into problems, and I think Furman is going to get past them in the 4-13 matchup. So there's one upset special. And another one, and I don't say this lightly, I love Charleston over San Diego State in the 5-12. Charleston is coming off of a 31 win campaign. They've been ranked multiple times this year. They're no slouch. And I know San Diego State won a very, very competitive Mountain West Conference, but, Charleston can play. They are one of those small schools that have been in the top 25. Now, they haven't really played a lot of major teams, and I get the fact that they've played 2 teams in the top 100 and they both lost to them, but I think they're playing kind of house money here too. So, you know what? I think they can get it done here, and back-to-back upset specials. So I do like Furman in the 4-13 over Virginia, and I do like Charleston over San Diego State in the 5-12. Continuing on, one team that I think can be a bracket buster is Creighton. They're a 6 seed, but in number only, and they're facing NC State, who arguably shouldn't even be in this tournament. Perhaps you could make the case that Rutgers should be, but Creighton, to me, they're the same team that nearly sent Kansas home in the second round last year. So they're healthier than they were even back then. So what I would say is I think Creighton wins, and I would say look out Arizona and or Baylor, because this is a squad in Creighton that can make a very, very deep run as well, and possibly even be, a Final Four contender. I still don't think they're going to get past Alabama, but they are definitely that good that they can definitely give them a run for their money. So take Creighton over NC State in the 6-11. One of the better matchups is the 7-10. You got Missouri against Utah State. You got 2 top 15 offenses squaring off, 2 teams that average close to 80 points per game, and they share the ball at a high rate. You have Missouri senior guard Kobe Brown, who is an absolute flamethrower from distance. He's shooting just under 45% from three-point range. He's a capable rebounder. He's a great distributor of the ball. He has been the driving force behind Missouri's impressive and surprising 24-win season. So if you like offensives, this 7-10 matchup is for you, but I will take Missouri over Utah State in the 7-10. And I think a very physical matchup is going to be the 8-9, and that's Maryland over West Virginia. I get West Virginia has been playing better as of late, but I think Maryland has just enough to get past them in the 8-9. So, again, while I think the South is Alabama's to lose, I like some shakeups, and I'd say look out for Creighton to be that one team to surprise a lot of folks and possibly make a deep run and giving Alabama a good run for their money. For more, like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameOnETB. You can also follow me on Twitter at Montalbano NY, and you can also check out our other March Madness and Montie Moment videos on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ETB Network. Leave a like, so hit that notification bell so you know when all of our content will be out, and also subscribe so you never miss a Montie Moment, an episode of Game On, or any of our Empty the Bench podcast network shows. This has been a Montie Moment. I'm Johnny Montalbano.